Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm here to talk about my project. My updated title is Automated Space Repetition Promotes Efficient and Effective Learning in Caribbean Medical Students. I think adding this automated piece is significant in my paper because it kind of differentiates what most of the literature is speaking about with space repetition, and it's not really automated. I'll get into that in a little bit. Here's my literature review. I'm going to just kind of read through it and then I'll make some comments. Medical knowledge is growing exponentially. The doubling time in 1950 was about 50 years for the knowledge to double. Where now in 2020, the doubling time is actually 73 days. So medical students are often overwhelmed with how to be efficient and effective in their learning. But the time to actually graduate medical school hasn't changed. We're still trying to graduate at 4 years, but yet the knowledge is supposed to be significantly more. Although well represented in the cognitive science and education literature, space retrieval practice has shown increases in knowledge retainment and student achievement. Unfortunately, many medical school educators may not even read this literature because they're not really getting an education in education. I tried to whittle down my argument to a single sentence. I mean, I might have overdone it. I'm really going to embrace kind of some feedback and critical thought around this, trying to get down to the essence. So my argument is using an automated space retrieval algorithm for formative quizzes improves Caribbean medical student achievement and lowers attrition rates. There are a few claims of significance. I wanted to kind of start at the high level. I think what's really important is that the Association of American Medical Colleges actually estimates that we'll have a shortage of about 120,000 physicians in the US by 2030. So good luck trying to find a physician that you can actually see on a regular basis. If we don't start producing more physicians, this is mainly due to the aging population and the baby boomers in the US. Medical knowledge is expanding exponentially, but the time to complete medical school is not keeping pace. I mentioned that before. We need more effective and efficient ways of learning, and spaced retrieval practice, it's been documented back in as far back as 1885 with Ebbinghaus's work. The fact that many medical educators do not even know about this work, even educators don't even know about this work, I believe contributes to the slow uptake of innovation in learning. Adopting innovative learning practices that are easily supported by now assistive intelligence algorithms, we have those capabilities. I don't like artificial intelligence. I don't think we've created sentience. So I believe we have assistive intelligence. And I believe that these things can be coupled together with education research to promote learning and improve achievement. I'm going to be doing a retrospective quantitative study. The data has already been collected. I'm going to compare first semester Caribbean medical students who used the algorithm to those who did not use the algorithm. I'm going to be looking and comparing their exam scores as well as their quiz utilization. So the number of quizzes each student took. And I'll put them into quartiles. So high utilizers, they took the most quizzes, down to the low utilizers, they took the least number of quizzes. And then I'll be using descriptive statistics and a binomial regression to quantify the likelihood of students passing the semester to see whether or not there are differences. So the evidence in the findings is that I found that Caribbean medical students who are in the high 50% of high utilizers, taking the most quizzes, the top 50%, using that space retrieval algorithm, they have about 100% increased likelihood or an odds ratio of 2.2 on average or more, with a p-value that's statistically significant, of passing the semester compared to those who do not use the algorithm. The odds ratio remained even after we controlled for prerequisite science GPA. Remember, these are first semester medical students. They come in with their prerequisite science GPAs, and some are high, some are low, and even controlling for how good their GPA is on prerequisite science grades, it still retained their odds ratio. For instance, Here are some of the data. So in spring 2020, the upper 25% of quiz utilizers had a odds ratio of 2.52, and it's statistically significant. In fall 2020, upper 25% high p-value or high odds ratio of 2.42, statistically significant. Same with 2021. And then we decided to look at the upper 50% of quiz takers as well as the upper 25%, and you can still see the odds are above 2 and statistically significant. Now we do have this little bit of oddball here in spring 2022, but it's still very high. It's greater than 90% likelihood of passing the semester compared to those who didn't use it, and it is statistically significant. And then here's the data looking at controlling for prerequisite GPA. It's hard to see, they were in red, but when I transferred to PowerPoint, they're now gray. So there's circles here. In fall 2021, when we control for prerequisite GPA, there's still an odds ratio of 2.33, and it's statistically significant. 2.10 in spring 2022, statistically significant. 2.45 and 1.75, and they're both statistically significant in fall 2021 and spring 2021. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to conversations about this, and here are my references. Thanks.